Hi, I'm Connor Larkin.
And I'm Jason Kuselek.
And we attend Missouri Western State University, and we're representing the student chapter of the Wildlife Society. Today we're going to talk about carnivores, herbivores, and omnivores, and the different types of skulls that these animals have, and how these skulls help them in their environments. So to start off, I'm going to talk about carnivorous animals. These are animals that eat meat. They often hunt, kill, or scavenge their prey. Some examples of these animals include wolves, cougars, dogs, cats, snakes, crocodiles, sharks, and many more. Most carnivores have large brains and are very intelligent. Some other characteristics of carnivores include strength, speed, and senses that they use for hunting. They usually have very sharp teeth that is used for cutting and holding prey. The next group is herbivores. These are animals that eat plants. These include deer, sheep, rabbits, cows, bison, and other animals. These animals generally don't need sharp teeth that carnivores do. Instead, they have rows of molar teeth that are adapted for grinding down plants and leaves. It's very difficult for these animals to digest meat. The diet of herbivores can also change depending on the season and the types of food available in their environments. Some plants can have defense mechanisms like spines, toxins, or bad taste, and this can make it difficult for herbivores to eat them. A benefit that these animals have is they don't have to catch the animals that they eat because plants aren't moving around all the time or at all. So there are a lot more herbivores than carnivores in the world. The next group is omnivores, and this is the group that we belong to. These organisms eat both plants and meat. This includes some other examples of these are bears, raccoons, possums, birds, and humans. The size of these animals can range from tiny insects to large animals like us. They often have several different types of teeth. As you can see in this possum skull, they got various types of teeth. And their food they eat can also change depending on their life cycle. And so when you're a baby, you're not eating the same types of food as you are as an adult. And that's very common for omnivores. And because of their very different types of teeth, they can also have a wide-ranging diet. So this means they can have lots of different types of food, eating plants and animals and a wide variety of resources. So having this diverse diet allows them to live in environments that are constantly changing, and omnivores have adaptations and characteristics that are similar to both herbivores and carnivores. The next thing I'm going to talk about is heterodonts versus homodonts. So the difference between these two organisms is they either have all of the same teeth or different types of teeth. So humans are heterodonts. That means we have different types of teeth. We have incisors and canines at the front and then molars in the back. The presence of heterodont teeth is an indicator of animals that get their food from specialized feeding or hunting. The other type is homodonts. These are animals that have the same type of teeth in their whole mouth. So examples of this would be crocodiles, alligators, or sharks, where all of their teeth are the same.
Okay, so now that we've talked about the differences between carnivores, herbivores, and omnivores, we're going to be talking about some of the types of teeth that these animals would have. We're going to start off with carnivores. So as you can see, this skull right here, you probably have a decent idea of what the shape is. It kind of looks like a dog skull, doesn't it? That's because this type of animal is called a coyote. It's really common throughout the entire state of Missouri. You can find it in lots of different types of environments. And it is related to a dog, so that's kind of why it has a dog-shaped skull. So as you can see, it's got these really large, sharp teeth in the front. And these teeth right here, this group of four right here, these are called incisor teeth. And these are used for cutting meat. And these other ones right here are called canine teeth. These really big, sharp ones right here, these long ones. There's like four right here. You can see what I'm talking about. These are used for stabbing and holding on to prey. So kind of like when you think, to give you an example, when you're playing a tug of war with your dog and you're using a rope and the dog's trying to hold on to it, these are the teeth that it would use to do that. And as you can see, it's got these other sharp teeth in the back of the cheek right here. These are called the carnassial teeth. These are the cheek teeth in carnivores. And as you can see, they're very, very sharp and they're pretty large too. And what these are used for is to kind of shear and just cut straight through meat kind of like scissors. That's what they're used for. And you can see they're not exactly lined up over each other. The top is a little on the side, so that way it cuts like scissors. So those are the types of teeth that a carnivore would have. And we're going to move on to different types of teeth that a herbivore would have. This is just an example. There's lots of different types of teeth, but we're going to talk about, this is a white-tailed deer skull. So right here is, as you can see, this is the cheek teeth of a deer. And their teeth are very, very different from that of a carnivore. So as you can see, they're kind of, they're not very sharp. I mean, they're kind of sharp, but they're not as sharp as that of a carnivore. And these are kind of crescent-shaped ridges right here. As you can see, they're kind of crescent-shaped. And these are perfect for grinding up leaves and plants. And as you can see, it doesn't actually have teeth on the front top part of the mouth of a deer. There's no teeth on the front. There's teeth on the bottom, though, and we'll talk about that a little bit more later. And then the next type of animals, so we've talked about carnivores and herbivores, we're going to talk about omnivores. So omnivores we're going to talk about is the raccoon guy right here. These animals are also very common. They're everywhere. Live in cities, live in the wild, almost anywhere you can find them. And they have a very, very not limited diet. It's very wide-ranging. So they're willing to eat lots of different types of things, and they have different teeth for that purpose. Okay, so carnivores like the coyote have predator-eating teeth. Herbivores like the deer have plant-eating teeth. Omnivores kind of have a mix of both. So now we're going to move on to different types of cheek teeth. Those are the molar teeth in the back, like we just talked about. So the deer will have what's called a solenodont teeth, and those are the crescent-shaped cusps in here that are used for cutting plants up, used for grinding, things like that. And then animals like pigs and humans, and even to some extent raccoons, a little bit, not as much as people. Those, if you feel back in the back of your mouth, those molar teeth, those really flat teeth in the back, those are called bunodont teeth instead of solenodont teeth. So those teeth are used for kind of grinding and crushing and mashing. So to give you an example, when you're eating a piece of lettuce, those front teeth in the front of your mouth, those incisors and canines that people have because people are omnivores, they would not be very helpful in chewing a salad. That's what you need your back teeth for. So those flat teeth in the back. So now that we've talked about that, we're going to be moving on to an example of each different type of group. So how a carnivore uses his, how a coyote, we're going to talk about that, how he uses his teeth to eat his meat. So basically, these front teeth, these incisors teeth we talked about, those are used for kind of taking the initial bite out of something. And these sharp teeth are used for stabbing and cutting and hold on to prey. And these teeth are used for kind of cutting through the meat in the back here. And the herbivore, how he'll use his teeth, this is a white-tailed deer. Deer will eat lots of different types of stuff. So they'll eat plants, twigs, the fruits off of plants, twigs, and the fruits off of trees and shrubs. And they'll also eat corn, other field crops, and grasses as well. Lots of different stuff. You have a wide variety of diet of plants that they'll eat. And what they'll do is, because they don't actually have these teeth on the top of their skull right here, they'll have, what they'll do is use these incisor teeth right here on the front of the bottom of the jaw and kind of clip it and press it to the top of their mouth and then clip off whatever type of plants that they're trying to get. So they'll clip the bottom of jaw to the top of their mouth and just rip it off. That's what they'll do. And then raccoons, like we said, have a wide variety of things that they'll eat. They'll go through your trash, they'll eat meat, they'll eat plants, they'll eat kind of a lot of different stuff. So they have lots of different types of teeth. So they have teeth of that a carnivore would have, which are the incisors, and they also have the canine teeth as well. But they also kind of have those flat teeth in the back that people have used for eating plants and stuff too, and crushing and grinding at plants. So they've kind of got teeth of both different types of animals. And one more thing we're going to talk about deer is that you'll probably know the difference. So we're not talking about teeth anymore. We're going to move on to the headgear, the antlers of a deer, is that the female deer has a very different skull than the male deer, because a male deer for a lot of part of the year will actually have these big antlers. And they'll grow these from late April, and they'll start falling off from mid-January to mid-April. So they'll start growing them in late spring. And what they'll use these for is to attract the females and to fight other males to be in charge of the group, or they'll also use them to defend themselves from predators if they need to. So that's the difference. That's what males use their antlers for. So now that we're done with that, we're going to go ahead and move on to a Kahoot and have you answer some questions and see what you have learned today.
Hello, this is a quick video to test your knowledge over the Super Science Saturday information that you learned in our previous video. So, for our first question, we want to know, what is a heterodont? The answer choices are an animal that has only one type of tooth, a herbivore, a carnivore, or an animal with different types of teeth. The correct answer is an animal with different types of teeth. So the next question is, what animal is this? And you can see it there in the picture. Is it a bighorn sheep, a goat, a pronghorn, or a white-tailed deer? We talked about this in the video before, and if you need a hint, look at the antlers that we showed you as part of its skull. The correct answer is a white-tailed deer. The next question is, what is an omnivore? Is it an animal that eats plants, an animal that eats both plants and meat, an animal that eats meat, or an animal that eats neither plants or meat? I'll give you some time to think about this one. The correct answer is an animal that eats both plants and meat. The next question is, what are canine teeth used for? Is it chewing, tearing and holding, grinding, or these teeth are only found in dogs? If you remember, we talked about these teeth in the coyotes. They have very sharp, long teeth. The correct answer is tearing and holding. Next question is, what other animal are coyotes related to? Is it cats, turtles, wolves and dogs, or dragons? If you want a hint, they look like these animals. They're pretty similar. The correct answer is wolves and dogs. Next question is, what type of cheek do white-tailed deer have? Is it bunodont, solenodont, lophodont, or sharp? If you remember, these teeth help deer chew their food and crush up plant material. The correct answer is solenodont teeth. Next question is, what do deer use their antlers for? Is it attacking other animals, attracting females, fighting other males, and defending against predators, digging for roots to eat, or to fight wind direction? The correct answer is attracting females, fighting other males, and defending against predators. Next question is, why do omnivores have several different types of teeth? In the video, we talked about what omnivores eat and why they have several types of teeth. Is it because they have a wide-ranging diet, they eat plants, they eat meat, or that's the way they are? The correct answer is they have a wide-ranging diet. The next question is, what is a carnivore? An animal that eats plants, an animal that eats both plants and meat, an animal that eats meat, or an animal that eats neither plants nor meat. If you remember in the video, we talked about these animals having very sharp teeth. The correct answer is an animal that eats meat for a carnivore. And for the last question, what animal is this? And you can see the skull there. And if you want a hint, these animals eat almost any type of food, and they can be seen in trash cans and in many different areas. Is it a river otter, a coyote, a black bear, or a raccoon? The correct answer is a raccoon. And that's all for our Super Science Saturday quiz. I hope you enjoyed it. Thanks.